Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Amelia, and we are with Cotter Teen Press, and we are here with
Sigra.
All right, so first question. We saw that you have a very unique style in your music. What would you say influenced your style?
As a teenager and young adult, I grew up with the intention of being a professional opera singer. That's what I studied for about 10 years before I totally changed lanes. So I'd say I'm really inspired by a lot of that, just intrinsically, not even purposefully. Growing up, listening to Gilbert and Sullivan and a lot of like Italian stuff. I think that comes through in my music, just in the vocal style.
Is there anyone specific or what got you into like music?
Music in general. Am I holding it? All right. Music, just as a whole. I come from a musical family. My dad was in bands and stuff in Chicago back in the day. My mom was a slam poet, so I've always had like a love of both music and words and how those come together. I'm really, really interested in lyrics in music. And I really, really appreciate the DIY and underground musicians, especially in the Midwest. That's why I'm really, really excited to be here. So a lot of the like people that have played this stage before, Sean Anonymous, who's playing tonight, I think is really cool. Dessa has been a huge, huge influence on me, who has played this fest a few times. A lot of those like cool underground indie cats.
All right, so first off, I love bugs, and I want to be an entomologist. How would you say you incorporate your interest in silversmithing and entomology into your music?
I do sell merch that is my silversmithing stuff that I do. That is one of the ways I incorporate it. I also, aside from like my solo project, Sigra, I front a couple of bands back home in Madison, and we have a couple songs about bugs. So I think that's a method. Also, just the way I dress, I wear bones and bugs and stuff, and I think that sparks questions and conversations.
So another thing about like your interests outside of music, how do you incorporate your passion for like writing and poetry into your music?
I would say, like I was saying a couple questions ago, I am very, very lyric driven. I would say that the main tie-in of all of my musical projects is that they are lyric driven. I also do like write poetry and essays. I published a chapbook a couple of years ago, so I still like have a love for that like true written word, no music. But I would say, yeah, lyrics. Like I'm very focused on lyrics in my music.
What would you say the content of your lyrics are generally?
I would say like the nuances of being a human, like how you can hold like two different truths about yourself or about people you love, and how complicated people can be. I also like to write a lot of songs that are just kind of like fun wordplay sometimes too.
All right, so you mentioned before that you're just like really into the Midwest music scene. Is there a show attended that really inspired you?
Ooh. Well, I mentioned Dessa earlier. When I was a teenager, she was like my favorite artist. I mean, she still like is one of my favorite artists of all time, but the first time I saw her when I was like 17 or so, I think like blew my mind. Also, in terms of like performance art, I mean, Chapel Roan isn't exactly underground, but I've been thinking about her and her like costuming and stuff a lot lately, and how cool the way she creates this world is.
So what's your connection with Midwest Music Fest? What brought you here?
It's sort of been on my radar for the past few years, and I just put out a new EP in September, so I thought this would be a good spot to hit up to, take this music on the road a little bit. Yeah, it's just been sort of a bucket list thing for me for a few years, and I finally decided to do it this year.
So, what's your approach to like performing live?
It changes depending on the venue and technical abilities of the venue and what crew I have with me. Like today I'm just solo, so I'll be doing a lot of stuff with like loopers, changing instruments a couple times. I have like an MPC that basically acts as my looper, so when I'm solo, that's kind of what I'm working with. It's a lot of like moving technical parts. When I have a live band, that's obviously a much different feel, but today it's going to be loopers and technology.
That is all. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.